first of all, we're blessed in so many ways. Great community support, wonderful parents. Fantastic parents, and our kids. I can't say enough about them. But we got a great school board, and you need to be proud of the school board. I got here in 2007. There was some financial trouble, and so that allowed me to come in. I had a superintendent change, business manager change, but the entire time I hadn't had a board member super supportive. They're hands off. They don't get involved in the daily routine. So we're certainly blessed with a wonderful school board that's got high expectations and do a great job managing the finances of the district. And 2022, our tax rate is going to be 117 per 100. That's it's going to be like 2.4 cent tax cut. So that's coming. They adopted at the end of the month. They've already advertised the tax cut. We had a 6.6 last year, and over the last 4 years, 22 cents tax cut in the tax rate. So that's amazing. So what that means, Lindale ISD, there's a bunch of taxes, TJC, the county, and then of course the school district's the biggest one. But we have one of the lowest tax rates in all of East Texas, really the whole state, because of our economic growth in Lindale. As more homes are being built, businesses, values go up, we're able to compress the tax rate down. And so 22 cents over the last 4 years, that's a good thing. And the way we're scheduled, we're going to have a really good one next year. So I would anticipate 7-8 cents next year. So we'll just have to let that process play out. But again, the only ones that have a lower tax rate in East Texas, the school districts that have in East Texas, is the ones that can't pass a bond. Chapel Hill's failed like their last three. They just can't pass a bond. They desperately need it, but the community won't support it, so their tax rate's lower. Mineola was lower, but they passed a bond in May, so now their tax rate's going to jump over ours. We're lower than everybody else around us. Okay. So if they passed a bond, just like we have, we passed more than anybody because of our growth. Our enrollment, over 4,300 students last year. We're expecting more than that this year. We added 175 students last year. At midterm, in the middle of the year, we got 65 new ones in January. And so we're projected to be around 5,000, somewhere around 6 years, 6 to 8 years. And little old town of Lindale is going to have 5,000 students pretty quick. So isn't that amazing? So this is some things we've done because of the growth. We are just completing right now. We got little bitty things to do. 8 classrooms at ECC, 6 classrooms expansion and cafeteria expansion at College Street. And a lot of people say, well, that don't sound like a lot. Well, 14 times 22 is a lot of students. And that's the capacity we expanded on those 2 campuses. And when you help College Street, you help Velma Penny, because we split the kids in those 2 grades. So we added over 300 something kids capacity for ECC through 3rd grade. And if you remember, the previous bond election just a couple years ago was that we had 23 classrooms added at the high school, plus some other great additions. And so the high schools got a lot of room for growth in the future. We got room for growth for pre-K through 3rd. Our junior high is our newest building. We did it in 2009, I think, finished in 2011. So it's 11, 12 years old. And so that will be, that's our newest building. But the next bond election, we will add on to the junior high. Okay, so we got good room at the junior high. So probably the next thing on our project is another elementary, intermediate somehow, 4 through 6, add on to the junior high. We'll be set for another, 6 to 10 years or 15 years. On average, Lindale ISD has a bond election every 7 years. Isn't that amazing? Just mind-boggling. And Lindale, this community, has never failed a bond election. And most communities can't say that. So great support in the entire community. I want to point out, this is how sound we are financially. $7 million project, we paid cash for that. We also did like a $1.7 million AC project only at EJ Moss East. Okay, it's mind-boggling how much these AC equipments are costing. So only EJ Moss East, which used to be the old high school, So we replaced, and probably hadn't replaced those AC since that long. And so most of them are like 20 years old. We replaced every one of them, 1.7 million, which we had to do major electrical work upgrades as well. This next summer we'll do, we're going to do Velma Penny, every AC, and that's projected to be around $1 million. The summer after that we'll do ECC and EJ Moss West, and so that would be close to $2 million to do that. So those are on schedule. It's just, but that's part we don't want to put in bonds. We want to take care of that with our M&O tax rate yearly, so we have to manage that money wisely. And I touched on that. So the next elementary is going to be about 6 to 10 years. Don't know. We'll just have to see where it grows. If we have 200 kids show up extra this year, it's going to be probably closer to the 5 or 6 year range, you know. So if we grow like 50, 70 kids, it may push it back. So it's just strictly on growth. We've already got a plan. We've already got land. We have 109 acres behind Chicken Express. So that little road between that oil change place and Chicken Express goes right into our property. We also have road that goes, that property wraps around. We have road frontage on, I don't know what that church road is.
Brickyard Road?
Brickyard, yeah, Brickyard. See, I wasn't around when there was a brickyard making bricks, so I can't remember that. And also we got an easement over to the city hall, so we're going to be able to get out. So that's got room, of course, for probably 3 campuses. We would probably put 2. I can't imagine us putting more than 2 campuses there. But that's where the next one will be, and that's probably what we'll do next. We're pretty much cannot add on to anything else building-wise. Also on the list is maybe a bus barn, improve our bus barn, or a new bus barn and maintenance facility. Take care of that. Safety and security, touch on that. Now after Uvalde, you know, everybody was alarmed, just worried. You know, the great thing about it, I've been here since 2007. We've had 1 gun incident on campus. Okay, that was just a kid accidentally brought a gun onto the parking lot. And so wasn't never any danger and stuff. We just had a gun situation. We had to do a gun report each year to TEA, how many guns on campus. And so our campus has really been super safe. We've done a lot of things in the past. You know, we added the buzzer systems. Added the buzzer systems before on our elementaries. That was actually part of the last bond, where you know, in the elementaries we put those buzzers in. You can't even come in the front door without being buzzed in. Then you go to the office. We added tons of cameras. We have over 500 cameras. So if you're in the hallway, in the office area, probably in the gym, cafeteria, you're being videotaped through all that. So it's a very, very safe campus, and a lot of things that the state is now requiring schools to do, we were already doing most of that. But probably the biggest significant thing that our school board, after looking at this, we need 1 armed officer per campus. So we have a police car out front at every location and an armed officer. I've had people ask me about the Guardian program, and the Guardian program it's been around for a while now, but it's really designed for rural schools. You know, Texas got so many rural places, and they don't have a city police force in town maybe, and so it may take, you know, 10, 20, 30 minutes before you would get a sheriff officer, a sheriff deputy to your campus. And so they have the Guardian program in those type school districts where you have armed employees, teachers, administrators, maintenance, whatever it may be. There's just usually a handful, not everybody, and they have training, and the guns are concealed. But I don't think that fits Lindale. I don't like that. I want our teachers working and being trained on teaching math and English and instruction, not out practicing shooting a pistol. And if you've shot a pistol, you know how hard it is to shoot a pistol. And so if you don't have a lot of training in that and been in some of those tough situations, you know, to shoot a pistol is a tough thing. So I just don't feel comfortable with that. And so our approach is we have that armed certified police officer on every campus. So we're proud of that, and I think that's going to add a lot. We had 5 officers, now we're going to have 6. We got 6 campuses. Emergency operation plan. This is a plan for everything: tornado, fire, intruder on campus, whatever it may be. we have a plan for it. That was already in place. Okay, so we have extensive training with our administrators, our teachers and staff. It does not filter all the way down to the students. Of course, we do fire drills and tornado drills and lockdown drills where we just lock up the classrooms when we're in the classroom. We do not do like active shooter drills. That's in our operation plan, but we don't do that with the kids. Okay, that's the staff's going to handle that when you have that type of emergency. You know, and really the chance of that happening is so small, but you have to be prepared. Multi-hazard, we've actually done 3 of these drills. We've had 3 elementaries have to evacuate over the last few years because with construction and stuff around town, they busted a gas pipe, and so we had to evacuate 3 elementaries, and we took them over to the PAC, our Performing Arts Center, hosts 1,200. So one time it was 2 campuses at one time. We bust them all over there and put them in the PAC, and another time it was just Velma Penny, and one time we fed them in the PAC. In our cafeteria, custodian, everybody jumped in, and we was able to feed, I don't remember which time it was, so one time it was maybe 500, the other time it'd be close to 1,000. And we was able to feed them during lunch. We put a movie up, a cartoon up on the big screen. You know, we got the big screens in the back. They had a great time, had a great experience. And that's probably some of the first time some of those kids got to ride a bus, so it was a good day. Security audits, we have we have to do security audits every 2 years through the state, and we do that. Oh, I can't remember what this was. I forgot the other day. We're gonna skip that part. And then local law enforcement presence on campus. This is where, like our constable, sheriff deputies, any of those are welcome to come on our campus anytime, park out front, like if they've taken a break, eating lunch in the car, certainly do that. But also we're gonna offer free lunch at our campus, so they can come and get a free meal. Anyway, so we're just welcome on campus, so have extra presence. These are some things we've already had in place. Stop It. Stop It is an anonymous reporting system, and it can be done by the kids, staff, parents, whatever. If something's happening, whether it's bullying, teasing, you know, something they shouldn't be doing, they can do an anonymous report, and then our principals investigate it and go from there. So if somebody's being picked on, they don't want to be a tattletale, they can do it this way. Cop Sync's a great thing we've had it for several years. So if there's some type of emergency in a classroom, the teacher can go to her computer or his computer and click on Cop Sync, and it sends out to the city police, constable. So really it's supposed to dispatch the 5 closest police officers to that campus, to that room. They can tell what room it's in. Okay, so it's very, you know, so we've never really had an emergency. We've had a couple trial runs on it, but never had an emergency of that. And that would be something, you know, not even, you know, like a fist fight between 2 boys. That's not where we use Cop Sync. So it'd be something very, very serious. A Raptor program, and of course you may be familiar with that if you visited our campuses. You go to the elementaries, you buzz in at the front door, they allow you in, you go to the office, and then at the office they'll run your driver's license through this program. And this is for sexual predators. And so the state has a database, and if you come up on that, you're not going to get to come any further on campus, and you'll have to leave campus. FirstNet, we're proud of this. I think we've had it a couple of years. Our buses, every bus has a walkie-talkie type phone. And so it's not a cellular, so it works anywhere. But we can contact every bus at one time. And that's important because you had really bad weather, and so we give them instructions. Also, we can call specific bus and ask about a kid. Is this kid on your bus or not? And so that was a good investment by our district. Active shooter training, we do that. Of course, that's just done with the staff and talked through. Our police officers do go through that training. I think we put that on Facebook. They just did that. School badges is very, very important, and where every employee wears a school badge. So other staff members can identify, because we have over 700 staff members, and so everybody doesn't know everybody. So you got to have that school badge to identify. And of course, we got extra training this year, and that's a major point of emphasis. Anytime there's anybody on our campus, we've got to address them and make sure they're in the right place, make sure they've got the visitor pass, or get them to the right place, to the office. And so a great line of defense, of course, is our custodians. They're in the hallways a lot. If they see somebody in the hallway and they don't have their proper sticker from the pass from the office, they're going to stop them and walk them to the office. And then our teachers are trained also. Our maintenance men, which a lot of times are outside, they're to come up and address people. What are you doing on campus? Have you got the proper pass, credentials, and stuff? So a lot of training on that this year. And threat assessment training, all our administrators had to go through that. That's something new from the state, and we've all completed that. And then scheduled emergency drills, we've already got emergency drills scheduled throughout the year that we carry. So we know the exact date we're going to have them, and we have to send that into the state as well. And then safety walks. We've been doing this, but now it's a statewide program because of Uvalde. So we had like our resource officers, they're to walk the hallways. Like every hour you're to walk, and when you walk, you check every exterior doors. And so now we've got also teachers assigned. So if you're near an exterior door, like 4 teachers near an exterior door, they're going to have a responsibility to check that door every hour. Our custodians, when they work in a zone, they're to check that door and make sure that it's closing properly and locked. The only door that should be open would be the front door. At the high school, we do have a situation. We have exterior buildings, so we have one door that go in and out toward those ag facility and the auxiliary gym. We're looking at the high school to add additional fencing, so we have that interior corridor, in a sense, fenced off during the day, would be closed, and it would be opened up at the beginning of school and at the beginning and end of school. Door audits, this is something new from the state. So now I think we just completed it. We'll have to send that report into the state, making sure the door closes like it's supposed to. And this is a good deal. So if we have hardware that needs to be replaced, the door closer, whatever it is, so make sure it closes properly. That was one of the failures at Uvalde. The teacher closed the door, but it did not lock. And then door duty, and I kind of touched on that with teachers and staff. And again, I mentioned over 500 cameras in the district. So we videotape. We also have cameras on every school bus, and they have audio on every school bus, so we can see and hear every kid on a bus. And I tease sometimes about you can take a great preacher's kid and put them on an afternoon school bus route, and they go crazy. So it's tough. But we now this is morning and afternoon. Some kids ride in the morning only, some ride in the afternoon only. But we'll transport like 2,000 kids a day, and so it's just crazy how many people we have on buses. But they're on video camera. And now there's not somebody watching the camera unless there's a report. And we can go back, and I think we have 30 days. We go back and check it. Oh, those kids say the darndest things. So anyway, but it's you have to act right or you get kicked off the bus, and it's usually a week or 2 weeks, and then at some point it's the rest of the year. Anyway, so safety and security equipment. We do have AR-15s. Every officer has an AR-15. It goes through training on that, and they have a gun safe that's housed in, and it's the thumbprint, and so they're the only ones that can get in there for the AR-15. We've had them for many, many years, and we've never taken them out except for practice. Of course, they've got their usual firearms, pistols, and of course, I think they have a shotgun and stuff in the car in case of emergency. Radios, they have the type of radio system they can communicate with the city police and Smith County, and so that's a good thing. And then those people can turn to our channel. We have a channel. They can contact just our officers on our channel, but we have that ability. We can all, in case of emergency, talk to each other. This is something new that we've added. We had them in the past, and we kind of transitioned to cell phone, but the buildings are so big and in certain spots are patchy we're going back. So every administrator will have these walkie-talkies and the officer. So they'll have their cell phones and a walkie-talkie inside the building. And so those you don't lose signal inside the big buildings. So master keys, our Smith County Constable and the city police have master keys. So if they arrive in an emergency situation, they can get any door with the master key. Tasers, our officers have tasers. And campus maps, they have campus maps where they can pull it up, some type of emergency. They can see the floor plan, and when we're talking specifically about a certain room or wing or door. I think they even have, each door has a certain number, so they just mention that number of that exterior door, they know what door we're talking about. And the FirstNet phones I touched on, those are on the buses. And the buzzer system, we're proud of that. We're actually moving it all the back up to the junior high, so the junior high will be soon have the buzzer system as well. The junior high and the high school are designed and built. When you come in, the only place you can go is into the office and get screened. But we'll add that extra layer to junior high. We're not sure the high school has so much traffic. It's just constantly buzzing and open anyway. So we're going to see how it goes with the junior high, then we may end up moving it to the high school as well. Let's see. Teachers, I just want to talk about these two. These were recently our Teachers of the Year, Mr. Bayham. Our choir program has just exploded. He's a wonderful master teacher. Used to be a professor at TJC in their choir program there. So we're so very fortunate to have our choir program is basically doubled, and also the success is doubled. So we're very proud of Mr. Bayham for being our Region 7 nominee this year. And Miss Patty Oliver, if you've been around Lindale for a while, Miss Oliver has a great reputation, been in our school system for over 20 years. Kids through here, lived here, but Miss Oliver was our Region 7 nominee, and she was just selected last week as the Region 7 Elementary Teacher of the Year. So we're so proud of that. So just wanted to mention that. So she'll go on to the state level, and hopefully she'll be recognized at the state level. And how's my time coming?
Yeah. Well, you got to be across the street in 15 minutes.
Oh, we're doing good. I couldn't remember what all I put on here. Okay. Any question on security before I move on? Anybody? Okay. All right. STAR test results. And Lindale ISD has a reputation of being one of the finest academic school systems in the entire state, and that's easy to prove. And this past year, we raised the bar even higher. Last year I got a phone call, and remember last year was the first year after the pandemic. So we have the pandemic where there was no testing statewide. We come back a year later and they take the STAR test, end of course exams at the high school. They give that, the scores are down across the state. They're down because kids were out of school and they were doing virtual learning in a lot of schools, and so the entire state scores were down. And ours were down some as well. We had some dips. But I got a phone call from the director at Region 7. He's a great friend of mine. And he said, I just want to let you know, I've got all the schools in Region 7 area, is most of East Texas, over 100 school systems, 100 school districts. He said, y'all did the best. And he said, it's not even close. Y'all did by far the best. So I was very proud of that last year. Well, last year we did very well, but we did a lot better this year. So this is the results from this year. And this is math, so this is the math state test they give each year. Lindale's the blue, the orange or red, whatever that is, that's Region 7, those 100 school districts of our neighbors. And then the gray is the state, okay? And so you can just see, I think this works. No. Anyway, you can see the great gap at every grade level at every test. So this is math, and what approaches mean is that's passing, okay? That's their passing level at approaches. But we're so complex to this great state of Texas, we also have another score, and it's called meets, and that's what they say, that's the future passage rate. So they go ahead and give it to us. I don't know if they can ever switch to this, but you can see how poorly, you can see how poorly the state is doing across the state. But you look at our kids, we're still doing very, very well on that high standard. Well, then we said we want to recognize the kids that are doing extremely well. So only missing 1 or 2 questions per test. They call that masters. And this is what Lindale does. And of course, this is in math. Now look in third grade, this is the first state test they take, reading and math. And look how we've got, in math, we got whatever that is, about 46, 47 kids mastering the test, almost half of them. Look in Algebra 1, it's 70% of our kids master the test in Algebra 1. And you can see, I like this little chart, kind of as we go through our school system, it just kind of raises, it gets higher and higher. Okay, that means our curriculum is aligned and our teachers are doing a fantastic job. So very proud of that. You can see how we did in math. And then here's reading. And it's similar results every subject we look at. But look how high our reading is. And of course, this is third grade. They take the first test ever, and we have 90% of our kids. Now this is all students. Used to let you eliminate a whole bunch of students. Say, well, they don't need to take the state test. This is all the students. Okay, if they're able anyway to hold a pencil, they're going to take the test. Okay, some of those students are not able physically. So this is all students. So with any type of disability, they're taking these tests. So our kids are doing a fantastic job. And this, of course, does that meet the future passing stat? You see the gap gets bigger, and then look at the masters, how it gets bigger. Okay. So very, very proud of that. Now this is English. It's a different test than just reading. It's a more tougher test at that level. But look at the gap between the state and our, it's just amazing. Social studies, and they only give social studies in 8th grade and U.S. history, and I told the board this last night, I gave this report on the board. This is the toughest test. Through all the tests, if you just look at the score statewide, this is the toughest test. This is right here, it's like 58% in Region 7, I think this is 59%. So statewide, only 59% of the kids pass, and ours is over 80. Now, this is the subject. This is where I tease this. I get more complaints about 8th grade social studies teachers about the amount of homework than any other group. It's a large amount of homework, but it pays off right there, you can see. And this is U.S. history, and of course you can see that we're like 97%. And you look at the meets, you see the big gap there, and then of course masters. So this is the hardest test they give. You can see that's like 16% from the state, and we're over like 38%. And this is like 60-something% mastering at the high school. So doing a fantastic job. In science, you can see the great gaps there. And science is only given 5, 8, and of course biology. And you see as tougher standards, and of course masters. Look at the amount of kids mastering science in our school system. So obviously our teachers are doing a fantastic job, with the curriculum, with the instruction, and we got great support from our parents. We got great support from the community. How could we not be successful and stuff? So, with a great school system, with strong parent community support, we have extremely high expectation at every level. The board, administration, teachers, parents have high expectation. This community has high expectation. That's just not on academics. That's also in the behavior, the way we dress, our dress code, but it all supports student success. Got a great culture. I give tours all the time. It's amazing how many tours I give, like 40, 50, 60 tours a year to parents wanting to move to Lindale. A lot of them from out of state, and after I give a tour, a lot of them end up moving here. But I can take them on that campus, and it doesn't matter which campus they want to go to. Any day, at any time, our kids behavior is great. The atmosphere is great. Doesn't matter if we come during lunch. Doesn't matter. We got kids that are acting wonderful. Skilled teaching staff. I can't brag on them enough how excellent they are and what they do. And of course, bright and gifted students. We are just truly blessed with them. We are blessed. So it's a great place to be. I'm very fortunate to be the superintendent of Lindale ISD. I'll take any questions.